Alright, welcome back to Roguetech, and welcome back to your first playthrough. So, after looking through how many mechs we have to work on, I'm going to actually split this into two build videos back to back. But the one I definitely want to knock out right now is the Marauder, because I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do here. I've already sketched out most of it. But we did get the Clanny RPPCs. And we have the lovely PPC capacitors. So that makes them each 100 damage pinpoint. So, ammo-less AC-20s that can fire up to 840 meters. Lovely. The specialist slots, we're going to toss in the Exchanger Double Plus and the IFF Jammer Mark III. Okay. And that's kind of where we're sitting right now. So we've got 10.5 tons left. Actually, do we have any protos left? Because this is going to be a very toasty build. Well, actually, before I start adding in a bunch of heat sinks, what do I want to do with this specifically? Because light PPCs are no longer super viable with the capacitors, because the clan ERPPCs have a lot more heat than the standard ERPPCs. We do have the tonnage for it, but we don't then have the slots to make the heat sinks work. So, and we are going to aim for a heat delta that is positive. In part because getting this stealth mech with PPCs and capacitors to be, like, heat neutral would be insane. But with the PPC capacitors, we have the ability to turn off or on depending on what kind of shot we're taking, depending on what our hit chances are, and for every PPC capacitor we turn off, we're generating 30 less heat and sinking 30 more heat. So, I think I said that right. So by firing it, instead of our heat delta being, say right here, heat delta is 33. So if we turn one of the PPC capacitors off, the heat delta would be 3. So if we turn two of them off, it's negative 30. Or negative 27, whatever. But we can manipulate our heat using the PPC capacitors on and off to just adjust for whatever the situation is. Again, like if we have a really bad hit chance, we can just not fire anything and sink 100-something heat in one turn. So that'd be cool. And I did think about it, and I don't think this is going to be the headshot mech. Just because protos, we're taking so many slots and so many tons with protos. So I think the headshot mech would be better for a Gauss build or something. Also, you do have a range penalty if you're firing at extreme range. And this mech is a sniper. It does not ever want to get close. If it does get close, it has no minimum range because clanning RPPCs are amazing. But it would rather not. So we're going to be sitting back with, you know, a less than perfect hit chance probably most of the time. But I think maybe a headshot mech with, I don't know, something else going on would be better. And I still am not a fan of the headshot battle computer, just because most of the time I'd rather just hit side torso and destroy an XL or something. Especially with the new loot system the way it is. Because if you just headshot the mech and just take off the head, you probably can't take it as a whole mech. But if you take off a side torso, it's a lot less salvage to take the whole thing. So, yeah. I'm not making this a headshotter. It's going to be a stealth sniper, which is going to be fun. But getting it to work, and also problem with the light PVCs is that it's 720 meter max range rather than an 840. So what I think we might do is, I mean, there's always the option of adding like a ballistic. Because nothing says we have to use energy. So we could just theoretically... Oh, right, before I forget, I need to put electronic warfare in. We're going to use the clan watchdog suite because it's only one slot. And our stealth takes up a lot of slots. It's also only 1.5 tons, so... with it, we will have a shield of 3 from it, and then 4 from the sniper sensor, 5, 6, 7, and then our void system and signature damper are going to make it so much harder to get us. So basically everyone will always be firing with no sensors, possibly with no sight, possibly just not even able to shoot us at all. Lovely. Now then, so this is the base build. And so we actually have 9 tons left. 9 tons and... oh! 6 slots. Exactly 6 slots. I mean, there is the option of, instead of going with 2 light PPCs, which is an ECM debuff of 2, plus the 1 evasion ignore, we could go with one of the bigger PPCs, just 1 to replace. So, light PPC with capacitor is 4 tons for 50 damage, right? 55 damage. So, 4 tons for 55 damage and 45 heat. Or we could just have 55 damage with 45 heat all the way out to 840. And then put a capacitor on it to make it 80, so then we'd have 280 with 3 pinpoint shots. That's pretty nice. Alternatively, we could go with one of the more interesting PPCs. We don't... This is definitely going to be a like scalpel style mech, so we don't want the LBC PPC or LBX PPC with the buckshot. But the PPC Donal, it is interesting. It's only 30 heat, 50 damage instead of 55. It has a minimum range, but we don't really care because, again, if we're getting close, we're messing up. Max range is only 720, but it applies the sensor disruption in an AoE. Which means that even if we, you know, are facing a full lance, we might be able to scramble all of their sensors. And if we scramble all of their sensors, maybe none of them could shoot at us. So that's interesting. Do we have the slots for that, actually? And then the PPC capacitor. That one. So our heat delta before the stealth would be 19. We'd have a 75 damage AoE jamming. With the 2 clan ERs. We'd have 2 slots left. 1 ton left. So at that point we could add a battle computer... gunnery? Or we could add the headshot and we could give it a try. I mean, we could run it like this. And you only need 61 to breach the cockpit, so the PPC Donal would be able to do it. And I'm pretty sure it's just the PPC debuff that is AoE. I'm pretty sure the damage is actually still pinpoint. But we'd be trading a little bit of damage for a little bit better cooling. Also, do we have piloting? Oh, gunnery. Yeah. Ooh, actually, tactics is interesting. Well, gunnery is important because the PPC capacitor has a misfire chance that's reduced by gunnery. So for every 1 gunnery we add, it's 1% lower chance of critting our PPCs. And the clan ER PPC, since it's a 2-slot weapon, can only take 2 crits before it's destroyed. So ideally, we'll be able to mitigate all the crits. I mean, we could give that a shot. And also the 75 damage, if they have damage reduction, basically will not be enough to breach the cockpit. So that's one of the things we're trading off for the PPC Donal. But I think that's a good enough defensive build, because again, if we're running hot, we can switch the PPC capacitors off. That saves us 90 heat. So then our heat delta without the stealth included would be negative 71. So we can drop 71 heat by just turning off the capacitors. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. The only other thing would be potentially adding in ammo that could explode, which, you know, less than ideal, or a Gauss rifle that could explode. Also takes way too many slots. I mean, it is super cold, though, but it is 80 damage, which is more than the PPC Donal with the capacitor. What does that look like? Because it also has 100% or, you know, double crit chance and great through armor crit potential. Alright, so we've got our Clanny PPCs. Obviously, we'll need to move all of the protos out of the way. We need, what, 6 slots? Yeah, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So something like that. We don't have enough slots in the mech. Then again, actually, we wouldn't need nearly as many. Oh, we would still need protos. Just maybe not quite as many. So let's drop 1 off the arm. Let's actually move 2 over here. Move those over there. Something like that. Oh, but then we still need slots for ammo. So the Void System and Signature Dampers, 15%, 13 flat. So 15% would be about 13.5, 14. So we'd have a 26 delta, or 26 additional, 27, 26, 27. So we'd be at a heat delta of 22 or 23. And again, we could just turn off 1 capacitor to not generate that much. But again, slots is a problem here. And for every proto we're dropping, we're losing the benefit of using the Gauss rifle. Because the benefit of the Gauss rifle is just, it's cold. But because it takes so many slots, we would have to drop extra heat sinks to put a double bin in. Yeah, that's our slots. And then we would still need to save 3 tons. And at this point, our heat efficiency is getting worse than it would have been with the ability to just turn the capacitors off. So even though it's a much colder weapon, because it takes so many slots and so much tonnage, yeah, no. I think we're definitely going to stick with just the PPC build. And we could also just specifically try to drop it in colder climates, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of work we can do here. But yeah, Clan Watchdog, because it's 1 slot. The PPCs and capacitors, nope, that one. So Clan PPC, Clan PPC. And then capacitor, capacitor. We already have that. So then we also need the Advanced Optics Mark... No, not Advanced Optics. IFF Jammer Mark III. Because we have the Battle Computer Optics. And then Exchanger Double Plus. And then... I'm trying to think, like, what else could we possibly do that's like 800 meters? LRMs, but we have no hard points for it. And we could just go with a regular ERPPC. Give it a try like that. Regular ERPPC with capacitor. And then we would have 1 ton left. But all of our weapons would be to the same range. And then we just add another proto. Something like that. But yeah, our heat efficiency here, we would be generating, because of the 15% from Void System Damper, would be an extra 18 heat. So our heat delta, when we're firing with all the PPCs active, would be 37. Which isn't bad. In a cold biome, we could actually fire twice before we even have to worry about dropping heat. Higher heat does make you easier to detect, though, so we wouldn't want to go redlining all the time, but if we had really good shots, like, 280 damage is very, very nice, especially if it's able to very, effectively hit one spot. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to try the headshot battle computer, specifically because I'm pretty sure it's, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like it, but, yeah, I might as well demonstrate it. So, with the PPC Donnell, it only saves us actually 4 heat on the Alpha Strike. And 80 might actually be able to breach the cockpit even if they have 20% damage reduction, right? No. Yes. It would take 25% damage reduction to reduce 80 damage down below 61. 20% damage reduction of 80 is 65-ish? Which is still enough to breach a normal cockpit. Obviously, if they have, like, Ferrolamella or something, it'll be harder, but... yeah, if we just... oh, no, not the Clan ER. If we just drop the... put that back. If we just use the ER PPC, that is 80 damage when we have the capacitor on, which means we can headshot and one-tap it with any of the 3 PPCs. Again, our heat efficiency... wait, what? Why is... I thought it was 120. Why is it 123 now? I am confused. Ah, I think because we had... yeah. We had another proto instead of the battle computer headshot. So we can actually get it a little bit cooler by running the battle computer headshot, or running a proto instead of the battle computer headshot. So that's interesting. And we could potentially run the Gauss rifle if we drop the engine core size a little bit, but 300 is the exact cutoff for 4.6, and I don't want to drop below 4.6, so we still have some defensive ability as far as mobility goes. Oh, right. We'll actually go Battle Computer Tactics. I mean, not Battle Computer. Tactics Support B. And with Tactics Support B, we'll have 1/2 of an extra accuracy when we're offensive pushing. And 1/2 of an extra sensor, everything stuff. So, that's cool. Rangefinder's helpful with the plus 30 meters. Battle Computer Optics is nice with the plus... wait, Advanced Zoom negates no visual up to 810 meters. So we actually don't need the rangefinder. Is there a better cockpit here? Yeah. Bonus Resolve and bonus Tactics. So again, for every Tactics, it's 1/2 of an offensive push accuracy increase, as well as 1/2 advanced sensors, blah, 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 blah. And then the Resolve generation lets us offensive push more often. So that's really good, actually. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. And it would be nice to run something with a command console alongside this Marauder. But I think this is how we're going to build it. For now. Actually, you know what? We have... okay. Slight optimization. Whenever you're using proto heatsinks. So, the prototype double heatsink gives -2% heat generated by weapons fire and -4 heat per turn. But when you have them as engine heat sinks, they only give the -4 heat per turn. So we can drop that, add in a regular proto, and yeah, we got it. Cool. Engine heat sink +1. So slight optimization. That brings us down to 120, which again means we have 18 extra plus 13 extra from the void system. But all we have to do to negate that heat is just turn off 2 PPC capacitors, and if we turn off all 3, we'll sink 30 heat per turn. But I'm not going to pretend this isn't going to be a toasty build. This is going to be very, very toasty. But we're gonna see. Slight limit testing here just to see if we can get away with it. And, you know, the Battlecomputer headshot can be exchanged for another heatsink, which would give us another 4 cooling and another 2% weapon heat generation. So, yeah. I think this is viable. I don't think it's optimal yet. I think we would still need to do a little bit of work for it to be optimal. But I think it's viable. Also, a radical proto double heatsink kit would be amazing. We would just have to drop the engine heatsink to be able to fit it, because it takes 2 slots, but I think it takes 2 slots. Actually, it might just take away the engine heatsink slot. It might not actually be a 2... In any case. A radical kit that would kick on and like greatly increase our cooling whenever it was active would be definitely a lot better than just a standard proto heatsink kit. So I'm looking forward to dropping this and seeing how it performs. I definitely I definitely would like the quad PPC dream, but I think this is acceptable. I mean, actually, if we got a proto, whatever. Let's not theory craft on what we don't have. So, all right. We're gonna validate that. Beautiful. And now the next thing oh, does the Warhammer have anything interesting in it? Does the Warhammer have anything? No, Engine heat sinks +1, Battlecomputer heat. We already have Battlecomputer heat. Yeah, no. There is nothing exceptional in here that we... Has a support hardpoint to like. Cool. Alright. We have the Fafnir. And we have the Mecha Godzilla. I'm happy with the Executioner, happy with the Archer. We have the Angerboda. We have this Vulture, but this Vulture is going to be the last thing I mess with. Specifically because it's a Omni-Mech, so I can just move stuff around willy-nilly whenever I want. And it's very quick to add and reduce whatever. But as far as builds... Oh, also, why has the Stealth got a warning? Stealth has a warning because... Oh, we took all the things out of it. We took all the things out of it. I remember now. That's fine. I mean, I think let's... Do we have another Clan Gauss rifle floating around somewhere? We took the one out of the Vulture C, right? Yeah, we replaced it with PPCs and mag shot and stuff. Also... do I want the heavy PPC risk with the light PPC, or do I want to swap this for 2 snubs, because we are very mobile, and I think 2 snubs would actually be cheaper as far as... So it's 6 tons each for the snubs, which is 12 tons, and then we have 13 tons for the heavy PPC risk and the light PPC. So we're saving 1 ton. Also, it's 4 slots instead of 6. So it saves us 2 slots as well. And as far as heat goes, they're each 30. And that's basically... Okay, this is just better. This is just absolutely better. Period. And now we actually have a ton left over. Ah. Ah. That. I see. Is this the right build for the PPC fire control? I don't think it is. I think this is better with fire control flak. The plus 20% crit chance and plus 1 evasion ignore is very nice. I mean, alternatively, we could also go for the Battletech crit. And we could drop the engine heat sinks plus 2, because I saw an engine heat sink plus 1 on the Fenrir, I think. So we could potentially save a ton there because our cooling is much better than it was with the heavy PPC. So we could bring Battletech critical, Battletech ballistic, plus 1 accuracy with all the AP Gauss rifles. Battletech piloting to not... Yeah. I think that's the way to go. I think that is absolutely the way to go. So let's go... Let's go grab... Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. Ooh, emergency... Ooh, emergency coolant system. Ah, nah. That requires us to get above 120% heat, and it's only minus 20 heat per turn. It doesn't work well unless it's in conjunction with... Otherwise, it's just a tool for taking heat damage. Here we go. Warhammer. Yeah, the Warhammer... It's fine. No, no, no. Not that. Not that. That. Going too fast. Alright. So with the engine heat sinks plus 1, I think we can make this better. I think we can make this better. So if we drop the heavy PPC risk and the light PPC, and I actually have a great idea of what I'm doing with the heavy PPC risk. That's going to be fun. Drop the PPC fire control. And we are going to go with a snub and a snub. And then... something like that. Drop those for now. And we want to go with... first of all, piloting A and B. No, no, no. We want piloting A and B on... Yeah. Because we're making the Mechagodzilla a melee mech. Sort of. Kind of. It's going to be fun. I've got an idea for it, but we're going to do this first. So we put... Actually... Absolutely. Fire Control Mark II here. Absolutely. Evasion Ignore is going to be more interesting than the offensive push accuracy. And we don't really have a jam chance on anything. So, yeah. That's definitely the play. And then we get Battletech critical. Love it. Battletech piloting, because I don't think we're putting a fire control target computer on the Mechagodzilla. I'm pretty sure we're going to go with probably the fire control flak, or maybe even the fire control PPC. I don't know. We'll look at that in a second. And then we have 1 slot and 1 ton left. Our heat efficiency, so Alpha Strike is 64, which means our Void System and Signature Damper is generating an extra 10-ish plus 13 flat, so 23, which brings us up to a positive 22. So if we add in a battle computer heat, we're frosty. right? So we've got... Then again, we don't really care about called shot multiplier, and does Battlecomputer Heat really not do anything for us here? It looks like it doesn't. So Alpha Strike of 58 goes up to what, 64? Huh. I got 2 slots. I could just add another double heatsink. It depends. Do I want the Battlecomputer Heat for something else? Probably. Probably. No, I think this is the best place for the Battlecomputer Heat. I think this is the best place for it. Alright. And then fire control, we got the Mark II. Sensors, we got the recon sensors. Love it. And then we have piloting A and B are going in the Mechagodzilla. Oh, we could also drop the cockpit small advanced instead of the Battlecomputer Heat, or maybe instead of the one of the clan double heatsink there. What would I replace it with? Rangefinder? Cockpit voice for higher initiative? Clan cockpit? I mean... No, I think I'm happy with the cockpit small advanced. I think that's what I'm going to stick with. I think that's it. So we got an active probe, we got an Angel ECM. Yeah, we're looking good. We are looking good. We still have 3 tons of carry capacity, but if we put the combat shield on, then we wouldn't be able to use that arm. And if we were, yeah, no, this is not the mech for the combat shield. I think that's it. So I think the gunnery B needs to go on something that has jam chance. The piloting B definitely needs to go on the Mechagodzilla. Yep, I think that change does it. Yeah. We could use the engine heat sink +1 instead of the Battlecomputer Heat, but again, that's just... I think the Battlecomputer Heat's better, in part because I think it does reduce the amount of heat that the Void System and Signature Damper generate, whereas a heat sink would just be reducing the heat per turn. We could shift the double heat sink there into the center torso engine heat sink slot, but honestly, I kind of prefer it there for padding. Why not? Also, we have a spare Angel ECM, so I think I'm actually going to shift the battle computers to the same side as the supercharger and mask. Yeah. There we go. One day. Cool. We're going to go with that. Can't wait to test it out. And now we get into... Is there anything else that I would be interested in? Ooh. LB20? That is a 600-meter range. That is a 600-meter range. Because I think I'm going to replace the heavy Gauss rifles in the Annie. Yeah, just 15 tons is so much. Then again, if we mitigate the recoil, so we're definitely going to drop the smoker and the jump pack. And this is where I was looking at the heavy PPC risk. $55 heat instead of 50. Same max range. More damage, except it doesn't have the capacitor. Also, we can't use the fire control PPC here. I mean, falls off to 55%, falls off to 60%. Weapon damage variation plus or minus 20. Yeah, it's literally just a heavy PVC with a capacitor. Except it's not. It's lower damage and lower heat. But it's still 11 tons and 5 slots. But we don't really care about the capacitor, because we're making this a melee mech. Alright. We need to fix the cooling, and we need to fix a lot of other things. We're going to drop the spiked armor. Spiked armor is very heavy. It increases the max armor that you get, but we're also going to drop these patchworks. XL, I would much rather be a clan XL. We don't have one. I might go rip one out of another mech, actually. Then again, we don't really have money for it right now. But that would free up an extra slot. Okay, before we actually commit to any of this, let me go look at this LBX again. So, no minimum range, bonus accuracy, only a recoil of 2 instead of a recoil of 5. Recoil does not change with evasion. Max range of 600. Does 100 damage, but we can use cluster shot. But it only separates after 60 meters. Now, I'm going to go back to my original plan. My original plan was heavy PPC risk, turret mount, and there we go, MMS 40. So the idea here is we're making a melee mech. He's going to run in, and he is going to smack somebody with his vibro claws, and then follow up with up to 80 MMSs. Good times. So even with just the Vibro Claws, Heavy PPC, and MMS, I think the Radical Compact is not adequate. Because we do want heat neutrality here. Also, we do have the ability to either fire and forget for an extra 28 heat, or fire at streak only to potentially drop 28 heat. So, that's a thing. We're definitely going to put the Blue Shield Armor System, which does also generate heat. Are we going to put it? I mean, it's only 12 heat per turn, but if we have... We'll wait on that. We're definitely going to bring the Exchanger because, yeah, we don't have a whole lot of slots to work with. So, yeah, obviously we're not going stealth here. So we drop the Spiked Armor in favor of Clan Pharaoh Lamellar. Absolutely. So, just 20% damage reduction right there. Then we're going to continue with... we can't change the Indo-TSM. We can't change the Torso-Mounted Cockpit. But then we add in an Upper Hardened. Drop those. Vibro Claws count as punch, so we're going to add the 2 lower melee punch. Beautiful. We can't add the Spiked Fist because we have Vibro Claws. And instead of the reinforced legs, which is what I was initially thinking of going with, I just remembered we had these speedy leg actuators, which don't quite... It brings us to 90 meters. I think 100 meters is 4 hexes. So, we want a slightly heavier core. We got a 340. Does that work? Haha. Okay, so we have 4 movement, which should update once we're in a mission. It should update to the sprint distance as well being updated. Then, we can't use Mask because we have the Indo-TSM, but we do have the ability to use a Supercharger, which is fun. So this should give us now an 8-hex sprint and a 4-hex move. For a 100-tonner, that is quite impressive. Now then, running low on tonnage, but I would definitely like to have one more weapon in here. Then again, let's look at cooling first. Let's look at cooling first. Right now we have a heat delta of 18, which goes up when the MMS is firing Fire and Forget. It goes up to 56 instead of 28. So our delta would go up to 46. So we need to get that under control. We cannot go Fire Control Target Computer plus Heat Battle Computer, so that's not even an option since we have the Torso Mount Cockpit. Which means our options are rely on the Radical, which I'd rather not, or go with... There we go. Clan Double Heatsink Kit, which is basically the same, except now additional heat sinks are only 1 ton 2 slots instead of 3 tons 1 slot. So... Oh, we also need ammo. Okay. So maybe that is maybe that is the loadout we're bringing. But we bring... So yeah. I think we actually do something like that. And then obviously our left side is our shield side, so we would also do that. In any case, this is... Actually, do we care about heat? I don't think we care about heat. This should be enough. 750 shots is just shy of 10 alpha strikes with the Fire and Forget mode. Or we can fire it as a streak and that'll last forever. So no, we don't need the Inferno. We can always add it in later if we decide to change like the heavy PPC or something. So our heat delta is 18, but again, it goes up by another 28 if we have the MMS going. It also drops by 28 if we use the streak mode and it doesn't get the lock. So that's actually considering that we can just fire at streak mode and it might not fire if we need to drop some heat. And if it doesn't fire and we fire, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to look at ballistics real quick and see if there's something else that is fun that we could include for not too much tonnage. I was originally thinking of using the Rack 10 Pirate, but whenever I looked, I still don't have Rack 10 ammo. Wait, actually, doesn't it use Ultra 10 ammo? Hold on. If I remember correctly, it's different. Yeah, it uses UAC 10. Do I have UAC 10 ammo? No. But I think I have a mech running a UAC 10 somewhere. Would that be better than the MMS 40 here? Would it be better? It would be the same heat. It would be the same heat if we went all in. It would be 420 damage compared to 360, right? 80 times 4 is 320. Okay, so actually the Rack 10 Pirate would be better. So the torso mount cockpit reduces recoil, right? No, it doesn't. It does not at all. Okay, so no, never mind. We definitely want Bandit, and we definitely want Juggernaut here. So unless we have a mech or a military, we're not going to be able to drop any of this recoil. Which actually makes the heavy PPC less interesting. What about... I mean, there's always snubs, but I already used 2 of the snubs, so I only have 1 left. I don't know. I think I do go with the heavy PPC risk. I think I do. Is it just... Wait, what does max armor look like? Max armor, okay, we're at 91.49. We are gonna take stability damage, but... Oh, wait. Torso mount DNI cockpit only provides 40 stability threshold? I thought DNI cockpits were 80 or 60 or something. Is this just a special one? Okay, so new plan. We actually do go with the reinforced leg. Reinforced leg. So that reduces the chance of the ammo explosion, and it also adds 45% extra armor and structure to the leg. Yeah, I thought the torso mount cockpit was more stability than just the 30 or the 40. Actually, if we go with 1, do we still get to 4? No. The 340 core is not enough to get to. But actually, without the leg actuators, I have no reason to go 340 anymore. So at that point, I can go back to the 300 core, which actually saves me a decent bit of tonnage. So what about... I saw it said 5 slots. Where? It said 5 slots, 16 tons. Okay, so we would need 4 more tons, and we would need an extra... probably 2 tons for ammo. You know how we get 4 tons? We go with that snub after all. So now, our heat's gonna be a mess if we go all in. But, wait. Why is it showing negative 51 heat sinking? Hold on a second. What? Why is it showing negative 51 instead of negative 60? That should be negative 60. Actually, no, it should be negative 69. Huh. Is there something with cooling? No? Okay. Let's just look at it before I change anything. Did it? Now it's showing 42. What? Why is it showing 42? Okay, it's showing the increase because of the weapon dropping, but it's showing 42. $12 with single heatsink cooling. What? Did I miss something? Is it the engine core that's busted? Something's not making sense here. With absolutely nothing, it's still showing 12. Obviously, I'm going to have to reload my save after I look at this, but... And now, if I add in an engine core, and a weapon. Is there a thing that the Mechagodzilla is just running hot all the time? The Vibro Claws! Okay. The Vibro Claws generate heat, but instead of it showing it as generating heat, it's reducing it from the cooling each turn. Got it. Because they're each 6, or 9, so together it's 18. So with single heat sink cooling, we're at negative. Oh man. Okay. In any case, I showed you what I'm gonna do. I just gotta get it to work. But yeah. I'm gonna go fix stuff now. For now, that's been your episode of Roguetech for the day. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, have a good one.